We're back at the horse trailer conversion into the walk-in cooler. We have the box basically insulated, and now we still have those two challenges left. The door, how we're going to make an airtight-ish door, and the actual cooling system, which I'm going to put off for a little bit later, but I have the thermostat order that's going to work, and I did the wiring. If you checked the last video, I got the basics of the wiring figured out, and we'll finish that up either, probably not in this video, but in a third video. But today we're going to figure out how we're going to do a simple door that's going to keep this cooler insulated and still allow me to get stuff in and out. So what we're going to do, I think, is use the existing door system. My welding skills are not good, otherwise I might try to weld up my own door. And I don't need to be able to load. It has that centerpiece anyways, so I can keep the door a little bit smaller. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to frame up one side to block everything, and then we're just going to have a 2-foot door over here, and I think I'll make the frame, and then we'll have a door that attaches on the existing door here that kind of pushes in and seals into the frame. So let's do that. So we have the frame framed up out of 1 1/8" dunnage plywood that I had left over from the kitchen remodel project. If you want to know what dunnage plywood is and how to save money on plywood that way, or about the kitchen remodel project, just subscribe. It'll probably show up in your feed whenever I get around to making that. But if I was just buying fresh for the project instead of reusing, I would have just, these would be 2x4s. Corner brackets to brace them at a 90 on both sides, and then this is treated with just deck sealer to prevent warping. I think it's frog, but it's whatever I had left over from doing the deck. All right, next step, let's get this thing in there. Okay, we got the frame set in the doorway, approximately where it's going to be. Now to determine how deep in to set it, I'm going to build the door, the first part of the door, as you'll see, onto the swinging mechanism. Then I'll know how deep for the first seal contact point, and then after that we'll set the door frame and then make the second part that's going to create okay, so we attach the plywood on there, and I'm going to use 5/16 hex bolts to hold it on to the existing door there. While I was mounting it, I put it into position where I needed it to be. I had to cut a little bit around some welds in there. You can't see it. Set it on there, and then I screwed it in with just some deck screws to hold it while I drilled all the holes to make sure that it wasn't shifting around on me while I did that. So we're going to tighten down the hex bolts, and then we'll be ready to, as you can see, we're going to have to do some stuff around the edges there to kind of give us a watertight seal. And I'll show you what we're going to do with the inside of the door to make it work. But again, we're going low budget, not too difficult here. So getting ready to set the door in alignment. So I have the 2 inches worth of rigid foam, and then I'll finish putting it up the side of the plywood door that swings nicely. And then I have here, I framed out and cut with an edge so that it kind of sinks in. So the thinner part is in the front, and then it closes tight in the door frame. And what we'll do then is attach this on here, and then once we have the door closed, then we'll screw the insulation in, and that will put it in the right place for it to open and close in the opening. So now it's time to set the depth of the door frame. Since we have our insulated door frame here, that's going to close. And here is one sloppy error that I made. So you can see with this wall over here that when I built everything, because of the way that the trailer wall is and the way I had screwed different things down, the bottom of it right here is tighter up against it than the top, which creates that same problem over here. So basically, I'm going to have to cheat the difference, and it's just not going to be as clean as it would be. But it should have been just meeting up with that. And then we can take our interior door frame and we will, as you're going to see, match it to the shape of this so that when it closes, we have a completely, or as close to airtight as we can get, seal. All right, so let's get this door frame in place as square as we can make it. Okay. So we got it screwed down just with a couple screws so we can test as we go. Had to use the old trick of burrowing into the plywood a little bit with a drill bit because all I had was 3-inch screws and we needed to go through 3 inches plus material. But anyways, got it tacked down for now. We'll come back with some longer screws. It squared up decently, which is nice. And now we're going to put the piece in that goes in the center here. And that's what's going to give it the super tight seal. Here's what I was talking about with flaring the door. So this is the part that's going to go into the frame. And that gives me a little bit of leeway. So it easy close and then it'll seal up. All right, we got the plywood attached in here, and time to do some of the edging and the sheet metal and get the door on. Okay, I got the door framed up. Got the interior part of the door that's going to go into that frame seal done. Had to over-sink a couple of them. I'll have to tape those because I only had 4-inch screws. 4.5 would work well. It's just through both layers of the styrofoam and into the plywood. I can't remember if we showed this yet. Got the sheet metal on the door, covering some cracks. Here's how it shuts. So we'll pull it in the inside here. Oh. Close it, latch it, seal it down. Pop in through here. There we go. We got the door sealed all on the inside. That pops inside the door. Probably didn't need to cut out so much of that. All right, and now to finish closing in this wall, get that wall in, and tape everything up, get the floor in, and put the AC unit with the controller.